Hey there, Vikrant here.
Leah here.
And I'm Alice.
And today we shall be discussing...
Sorry.
What if someone has 5, 6, 7 years of work experience and then they still want to go back to studies? Would you, because they are basically from another generation of education, at least seeing how things are going right now in the industry, how new softwares, new powers are coming in every few years.
Yeah.
Would you consider something to be maybe too much experience or...
I see what you're driving at. It depends on where did you collect those 5 or 6 or 7 years. Did you stay with one company, with one employer, and we can see a progression in your skills, in your responsibility? Then that really shows that you're growing into a more leadership kind of person, someone who also develops. Or are those 5 years segments of internship plus short stint plus maybe a year here and there, where we can see, okay, you're still looking for something that you want to do. For that, one of the letters of motivation ideally comes from a superior, from a group leader or someone in that company who can show us what subjects or what projects you were engaged in or involved in. And show us how you also technically developed. Sometimes those 5 or 6 or 7 years, they are a bit far off from that study experience. And what we find is that students with 5 or more years have or need more time adjusting to get back into that study mode. Yeah, that would be something that speaks about your maturity of being a student or readjusting to study and learning and self-management. But from a technical point of view, we would draw our conclusions from the letter of motivation or the letter of reference that we get from an employer.
Yeah, we also try to help students who have longer work experience already to get back to the German learning rhythm by offering to join the prep course, for example. Then they can get slowly back to student studying and so on. Also, I think there's no such thing as too much work experience, because the master's degree programs at RWTH, they focus on the latest technology and also innovation. So for our management and engineering degree, for example, it's all about the technologies changing every day. So there's people from 2 years ago, it's also everything's brand new. So then they choose to study at RWTH to get to know what's actually really going on now in the industry.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. I was a brilliant student in my bachelor's. And then I decided to go into the construction engineering. The whole industry I shifted, for example, this is hypothetical, I was a normal student. but if I decide, okay, I have the top grades, I decided to go into another sector, found out it's not for me, I want to come back. What can I do, or how can I show that I'm really motivated towards getting back, assuming I have also maybe a little related work experience that covers the minimum possible point that is required for admission?
Lay it out in your letter of motivation. Everyone takes a detour now and then, but if you can show that you have learned from it, or how it has shaped you, or how it has determined you to really go in that direction now that you want to go into, then that's fine. So just be clear about what you want to do and why you want to do it at RWTH.
And let's go the other side then. What if I have a lot of work experience, but I took a subject, finite element methods, in my bachelor's, and that is the one subject somehow that I screwed up.
Yeah.
And I want to get an admission in CAME, which is half finite element methods. Does that matter, that one subject?
As long as you passed it in your bachelor's degree, and then you're fine, because then you fulfill the requirement of that prerequisite knowledge. Okay,
but is that counted negatively towards my performance? Is there because
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
you're trying to get into the only subject that you maybe scored bad in, and everything else is perfect, but you're not interested because sometimes people get sick, sometimes one of the professors are really harsh, so
it drags down your GPA for sure, that subject.
A bit, yes, here and there, but so that happened with us also, if I may say so. In our masters, some of the professors are really harsh, and regardless of how interested you are in that subject, and you have spent a month, 2 months in the library, and you know basically more about that subject than 99% of your fellow classmates, because everyone got a barely passing grade. That happened to us a few times. What happens if I am still interested in going forward with that subject in the future?
So the admission committees, us, we're part of it. As you can see. And we understand sometimes students get sick, or sometimes there are harsh professors that give harsh grades. So if it's this one subject, as long as you pass it, then you actually reach the requirement that we have given out. And we also consider different kind of reasons why the students perform worse than the other subjects in this one particular subject.
Okay.
Yes.
Moving on. If you have given your exams, GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, and you have scored the top grade,
Yes.
does that matter beyond the bare minimum at all? Is it good to have top grades, or how do you use these results to analyze students?
You mean the TOEFL results?
The TOEFL, the English language, ultimately.
No, I mean in that case, for the TOEFL, the minimum score is 90. For the IELTS is 5.5, and as long as you achieve those scores, you are fine. It doesn't matter if you then score a 120 or a 180 in a TOEFL and a 7.0 in IELTS. That is just a requirement met. Check, next document or next.
So basically, that's a sort of a filter.
Yes.
What happens if 90, for example, is the TOEFL requirements? What if you scored 89?
89.
For TOEFL?
Yeah.
Then he wouldn't get to enroll. It will be blocked. Even if he comes to Aachen, even if he gets an admission, he will not be able to enroll as a student.
Okay.
Maybe for that it's important to know that the English language test you can bring until enrollment, so you don't have to have it until the application deadline. But that also puts pressure on you that I do have some more time, but then it's really now or never. Then at enrollment date I really need to have that minimum score, otherwise I cannot be enrolled.
All right.
Yeah.
Are there any specific ways that you try to diversify the student coming in for a particular batch of particular year?
Yeah, for gender, for example, we are offering this women engineering scholarship to attract more female applicants. This we would like to diversify.
But do you have also a criteria that we want at least 30% or 40% only to be women?
Not a fixed or stipulated quota. No, I mean it's in our overall internationalization strategy to diversify and to accept as many students from many different countries as possible. But there is no fixed quota.
So, is it possible that someone from maybe China who has a better grade from someone from US would be preferred one over the other just because of the country and not because only of the grades or the overall profile, if you consider the profile to be basically equal?
Yeah, so with this diversifying thing, the diversity attempts, we do it at the marketing stage. That we market in different countries. We post. We are in good relationship with many DAAD offices that they will do promote our programs too. And we give out scholarships to different countries and also to women, female engineers. But at the stage of admission, then we pick the best candidates
from all the whole pool of applicants.
Yeah, the whole pool of candidates.
All right, that was a great insight into the mind of the admission committee. Once again, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.